When the former London home of Queen frontman Freddie Mercury was offered for sale, it reignited fascination with one of rock music's most legendary figures. Built in 1907 and hidden behind high brick walls in Kensington, the property known as Garden Lodge was far more than a luxurious mansion. It was Freddie Mercury's sanctuary, the one place where the larger-than-life performer could escape the spotlight and simply be himself. When Freddie Mercury passed away in 1991, the world mourned the loss of one of rock's most electrifying voices. Millions knew him as the fearless frontman of Queen, the man who could command stadiums with a single note. Yet behind the fame, behind the sold-out concerts and global success, there was another side of Freddie that very few people ever saw. And when the doors of Garden Lodge were finally opened after his death, the discoveries inside revealed a deeply personal world that surprised even those closest to him. Long before he became Freddie Mercury, he was born Farrokh Bulsara on September 5, 1946, in Stone Town, Zanzibar, then a British protectorate. His parents, Bomi and Bulsara, belonged to the Parsi community, whose roots traced back to Western India. They practiced Zoroastrianism and carried their traditions wherever life took them. Although Zanzibar was his birthplace, much of Freddie's childhood unfolded in India, where he attended St. Peter's School near Bombay. Even as a child, Freddie displayed signs of extraordinary talent. He learned piano at an early age and quickly developed a remarkable ear for music. Friends recalled that he could hear a song on the radio and immediately reproduce it on the piano. At school, he formed a band called the Hectics and performed covers of artists such as Elvis Presley, Cliff Richard, and Little Richard. It was also during these years that Farrokh began calling himself Freddie, a nickname that would stay with him for the rest of his life. His childhood was forever altered by the political turmoil in Zanzibar. In 1964, the Zanzibar Revolution erupted, forcing thousands of families, including the Bulsaras, to flee. They settled in England, where Freddie would eventually find the environment that shaped his future. The transition was difficult, but it also opened new opportunities. He studied art and graphic design, eventually graduating from Ealing Art College in 1969. Those artistic talents would later influence Queen's visual identity. Freddie himself designed the iconic Queen crest, incorporating the astrological signs of each band member into a regal coat of arms. Yet during his student years, success was far from guaranteed. He worked various jobs, including handling luggage at Heathrow Airport and selling second-hand clothing at Kensington Market. Around this time, he became friends with Roger Taylor and Brian May. The trio shared a passion for music and ambition. In 1970, Freddie joined their band Smile, which would soon be renamed Queen. With the addition of bassist John Deacon, the classic lineup was complete. Freddie understood the importance of image as much as music. He pushed for the name Queen despite concerns that it might be controversial. To him, the name sounded powerful, regal, and unforgettable. Around the same period, he legally changed his surname from Bulsara to Mercury, creating the identity that would become known around the world. As Queen's popularity grew, Freddie's creative vision became impossible to ignore. His songwriting ranged from simple rock tunes to complex musical epics. He wrote some of the band's most beloved songs, including Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions, Somebody to Love, and Don't Stop Me Now. Each song showcased a different side of his talent. Unlike many musicians, Freddie often composed by instinct rather than formal musical theory. He frequently sat at a piano and allowed melodies to emerge naturally. This approach helped create music that felt both innovative and emotionally powerful. Yet it was on stage where Freddie truly became legendary. His performances were unlike anything audiences had ever seen. He combined powerful vocals, theatrical movement, humor, and charisma into a style uniquely his own. Whether performing for hundreds of thousands, he had the ability to make every audience member feel connected. One of the defining moments of his career came during Live Aid on July 13, 1985. Queen's 20-minute performance at Wembley Stadium is still widely regarded as one of the greatest live performances in music history. Dressed simply in jeans and a white tank top, Freddie captivated 72,000 people in attendance and millions more watching around the world. His final major performance with Queen took place at Knebworth Park in August 1986 before nearly 200,000 fans. Wearing a royal robe and crown during the closing moments, Freddie delivered a farewell image that would become iconic. Away from the stage, however, Freddie was often far more private than many people realized. While his public persona was bold and flamboyant, friends frequently described him as shy, thoughtful, and guarded. He carefully separated his public life from his personal one. His relationships reflected that complexity. Freddie's most significant early relationship was with Mary Austin, whom he met in 1969. Their bond became one of the most important relationships of his life. Although their romantic relationship ended after Freddie acknowledged his attraction to men, their friendship endured until his death. He often referred to Mary as his common-law wife and trusted her more than almost anyone else. Later relationships included actress Barbara Valentine and German restaurateur Winfried Kirchberger. Ultimately, however, his most enduring romantic partnership was with Jim Hutton, an Irish hairdresser he met in the mid-1980s. Jim remained by Freddie's side through the final years of his life and provided unwavering support during his illness. Freddie also had passions that many fans knew little about. He adored cats and treated them like family members. While touring, he would sometimes call home simply to speak to them through the telephone. His beloved cat Delilah even inspired song. Another major passion was collecting art. Over the years, Garden Lodge became filled with paintings, antiques, decorative objects, and Japanese artwork. Freddie approached collecting with the same enthusiasm he brought to music. Every room reflected his personal taste and curiosity. By the mid-1980s, Freddie's fame had reached extraordinary levels. He socialized with celebrities, artists, and even members of royalty. Stories of his friendship with Princess Diana became legendary, including an occasion when he reportedly helped her visit a London gay club disguised in casual clothing. Despite his glamorous lifestyle, darker challenges were emerging. Freddie was diagnosed with HIV during a period when the disease was poorly understood and heavily stigmatized. Rather than making his condition public, he chose to keep the diagnosis private. Only a small circle of trusted friends and loved ones knew the truth. Throughout his illness, Freddie continued to work. Even as his health declined, he remained focused on recording music. His determination impressed everyone around him. According to his bandmates, he wanted to keep creating for as long as physically possible. In November 1991, Freddie finally issued a public statement confirming that he had HIV/AIDS. Just one day later, on November 24, 1991, he passed away at the age of 45 due to bronchial pneumonia resulting from AIDS-related complications. His death shocked the world. Yet even in death, Freddie managed to control his narrative. By revealing his diagnosis only at the end, he protected his privacy while also helping bring global attention to the AIDS crisis. After his passing, Garden Lodge became one of the most mysterious locations associated with any music legend. Behind its famous green door lay a world that had remained largely untouched. Mary Austin inherited the property and carefully preserved it for decades, maintaining many rooms exactly as Freddie had left them. Visitors who eventually saw the interior were astonished. The house contained an extraordinary collection of art, antiques, furniture, and personal possessions. The decor reflected Freddie's unique personality, elegant yet playful, extravagant yet deeply personal. One of the most remarkable rooms was the drawing room, which housed his cherished piano. This was more than a musical instrument. It was the place where some of Queen's greatest songs had taken shape. The piano became a symbol of Freddie's creativity and artistic legacy. The house also featured a magnificent library, a stylish bar, and rooms filled with rare collectibles gathered from around the world. Japanese influences appeared throughout the property, reflecting Freddie's admiration for Japanese culture and aesthetics. The gardens were equally impressive. Designed with Japanese inspiration, they featured carefully planned landscaping, water elements, and flowering trees. In the heart of bustling London, Freddie had created a peaceful retreat where he could escape public attention. Friends often describe Garden Lodge as an extension of Freddie himself. Every object seemed chosen with intention. Every room told part of his story. The house revealed a side of him that audiences rarely witnessed, a man who valued beauty, tranquility, and artistic expression. For more than 3 decades, the property remained largely unchanged. During that time, Mary Austin acted as caretaker of both the house and Freddie's memory. Eventually, she made the difficult decision to part with many of his belongings. Thousands of items were auctioned, attracting global attention and raising significant funds for charitable causes, including organizations supporting AIDS awareness and research. The auction revealed just how eclectic Freddie's tastes had been. Items ranged from handwritten lyrics and stage costumes to fine art and decorative objects. Collectors from around the world competed for pieces connected to the legendary singer. Yet perhaps the most surprising discovery was not any single object, but the overall picture that emerged. Behind the flamboyant performer was a deeply thoughtful individual with refined artistic sensibilities. Garden Lodge showed that Freddie Mercury was not merely a rock star. He was a collector, a designer, a host, a friend, and a man who carefully crafted the environment around him. Today, Freddie Mercury remains one of the most celebrated performers in music history. His voice continues to inspire new generations, and Queen songs remain staples of popular culture. But Garden Lodge offers something different. It provides a glimpse into the private world of a man whose public image often overshadowed his personal complexity. The discoveries inside that famous Kensington home shocked many because they revealed a side of Freddie that fame rarely allowed people to see. The house was not simply filled with valuable possessions. It was filled with evidence of a life passionately lived. Every painting, every book, every piece of furniture reflected the curiosity and creativity that defined him. Garden Lodge was not merely where Freddie Mercury lived. It was where he dreamed, created, loved, and found peace away from the spotlight. And perhaps that is why the fascination endures. Long after the concerts ended and the crowds went home, the world remains captivated by the man behind the legend. Through Garden Lodge, we see not only Freddie Mercury the superstar, but Freddie Mercury the human being, a complex, talented, and unforgettable individual whose legacy continues to resonate decades after his final bow.